Hey coin collectors, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. And today we have the 1942 Mercury Dime from the United States of America. Now the Mercury Dime was used in the United States in 1945 when President Franklin D. Roosevelt died, and in 1946 they came out with this dime, which you all know, except it was silver, not copper nickel clad copper. And these Mercury dimes are silver. We tip it up on its side, we see that. Now 1942 is a good year for Mercury dime collecting because there's a number of things going on in 1942. The first thing, of course, is that in 1942 they printed some of the 1942s on top of the 1941s. So this is a doubled version here, the 2/1 version they call it. And what you do is you have to look really closely at these twos, and if there's a line in through the front of the two where the 1 would be, that's what you need to look for. So let's look at a couple other ones. This one definitely not, a little worn there, huh? And we have about 5 or 6 others. I'm just going to look through all of them. What happened was we got a batch of 1942s, and I think probably what happened was somebody bought a bunch of them and got rid of all the ones that weren't valuable. And so you can get these for about $2, $2 to $3 each. They have about $1.50 to $2 in silver in them. They're collectible, but there's a lot of them around. So if you're looking for these, they are easily obtained. I think they have $1.46 as today's value is silver in them. So again, nothing on this too. Now I had 2 coins out here. There's actually 3 mints that made the coins in 1942, and we have 2 of them. And how can I tell the difference? Well, first off, it says Liberty around the top, "In God We Trust" under the chin. There's an A and a W there, and that's for the engraver's initials. You see that over to the right? That is not a mint mark. That's Adolf Alexander Weinman who did these. And if we get it up, you can see how the A goes over the top. I think there's actually, if you look at it a certain way, the top of the middle of the W is 1A, and then there's one underneath. We tip it over, and this is where you can see where the mint mark would be, and be right here. So it says United States of America, 1 dime across the bottom. The way that you value these is the same way you value the modern dimes. You look at these bands and see if you can have any distinction between the bands. There's also some ribbon or twine that goes around here. You can't even see it all. You can see a little bit of it down here. So no separation of the bands at all here. So this is not a full bands version. And this, of course, is a thing called a fasces, and it is a war implement. Now let's look at the back of this one, and you'll see, there. So that's where the mint mark would be, right there, and that's the Denver mint mark. In 1942 in Denver, these aren't the 2/1s, just the regular mintage in Denver was 60,740,000. So, and there's still plenty of these out there. They're worth anywhere from $3 to $45 if you get up to 65 with full bands. If you can get the 42s over 41s, then you're talking about $25,000 to $35,000. So you probably aren't going to see one of those. Even if you see one in this condition, it would be worth hundreds of dollars. So always look at the 42s to see if it's over 41. At the Philadelphia Mint, where they made this one in 1942, they made $205 million, and they also made $49 million at the San Francisco Mint, which would have an S here. We don't have one, but they aren't that hard to find. They just cost $1 or $2 more generally than the Denver or the Philadelphia. Not because dealers want them, but because people, when they see the S, they keep them. All right, now probably all of you know this already, but if in case you didn't, in 1942 they also had another silver coin, and I'm not talking about the quarter, because the silver was the quarter was 90% silver in 1942. I'm talking about the nickel. Halfway through 1942, they changed the nickel and this is the one that they started 1942 with. You can see it's a Denver Mint, and it'd be off here to the side. And they changed the nickel, and they, at the Philadelphia and San Francisco Mint, they put the P on the top or the S on the top in these nickels. And you're saying, well, that's a dirty coin. Well, this nickel is silver. It is not 90% silver like the dimes. It is 35% silver, 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. So it's a about 1/3 silver. So it's not, you think, well, silver nickel is going to be worth a lot, and so maybe I can get a silver nickel, but it's worth almost exactly the same as these dimes. These are worth about 140. This is worth about 115 or 120 in silver alone. This one is, but it's worth more than that if you get one. And if you get one, keep it, because they'll probably start at $2 to $3 even in this condition, because they're a little harder to get. All right, so that's all we have for the 1942. There is a S, there is a D, there is a no mint mark P, and they're all great looking and greatly collectible. Good luck collecting from DC Coin Roll International Coin Channel.